What did you just say? Did you just call yourself fat? You didn't. Oh, you didn't call yourself fat. You called me fat. I'm sorry. You didn't call me fat, but you called yourself fat. Oh, so that's different. Or is it? You know, if you're not going to call other people and your friends fat, why do you call yourself fat? I know I've done it many a times. As a matter of fact, just last week, when I was doing the live videos trying to demonstrate how to make homemade biscuits, and then I did one on how to make homemade gravy, I went back and watched those videos to see if I was doing everything right, and whew, for a little bit, all I could see was my fat self, will say, even though after today I'm not calling myself fat, but I was looking at my belly on there and I thought, ooh, I'm ashamed I've even posted this. And so I thought, anyway, I was dwelling on the fact that I was fat, and I've been guilty of calling myself fat too. You know, I might be off somewhere and say, oh, would you get over please and let me get by, I'm so fat. Or, you know, we've been guilty. A lot of times we do that if we think we're too big. But why, if we don't want to call our friends fat, do we think it's okay to call ourselves fat? You know, the Bible said that he told us to love our neighbor as ourselves. That means we must love ourselves some. Now, we don't need to love ourselves to the extent that we're selfish and don't care about other people, but we do love ourselves. We want to take, you know, if there's something wrong, we're going to try to get ourselves fixed, taken care of so that we can be healthy and live and so on. So we do care about ourselves, and you know he wants us to care about our neighbor. So if we care about ourselves, why are we talking down to ourselves and calling ourselves fat? And like I said, I looked at the video of me the other day, and all I could see was that big old belly sticking out there, and I was telling myself, man, you're so fat. As a matter of fact, this is a little side trail here, but over the years, of course, it's gotten a little less the last several years as I get a little older, but I've had many people to come up to me. Well, you know, years ago, if a couple was expecting a baby, you didn't go around and use the P word, especially, you might if it was just women, but you called it, she's in the motherly way, or she's expecting. Well, I've had people to come up to me many times and not just ask me if I was going to have a baby, but ask me when I was due. And it always catches me off guard. And then later I say, next time they ask me when I'm due, I'm going to look at them and say, probably about the same time you are. But I wouldn't do that. And I know they don't mean anything by it, but here's what's kind of funny too. A few weeks ago, I was at a birthday party, and we got out of the vehicle, and there was already several people there, and a little boy, probably 6 or 8 years old, come running up to me. And I didn't know who he was, and I didn't think he knew us, but he was just so friendly. Oh, hey there, y'all, or something. So I said, well, hey. I said, you know, he was just so friendly. I said, hey. I said, how are you? And I noticed he was just looking at me, kind of, but I said, well, what's your name? And he told me, I think, you know, Jack. And I said, oh, well, hey, Jack. And I was, you know, going to tell him who I am. And I noticed he was still looking at me, but I said, well, I'm Miss Norma Jean. And he looked at me and he said, do you have a baby in your belly? And it caught me so off guard again. And I don't know where in the world this answer came from to this day. I just don't know why I said this, but it caught me off guard. And I said, not yet. And Ronnie had walked on up ahead of me, and I was about to die laughing. I walked on up to caught up with him, and I said, did you hear what I just told him? He said, yeah, I heard it. I said, I don't know where that came from. I said, you know, he asked me if I had a baby in my belly, and I told him not yet. And he said, well, sounds like you've got plans. I said, yeah, right. But we laughed about it. My point is, you know, even if something is the truth, you don't, you know, some people say they may hurt their friend's feelings and say, or somebody's feelings and say, oh, well, I was just telling the truth. Well, you don't have to lie, but you also don't have to tell something to hurt someone's feelings just because it's the truth. And so if you're not going to call your friends fat, don't call yourself fat. And as of today, I'm going to do my best not to call myself fat anymore. Does that mean I'm going to go around calling myself skinny? Probably not yet anyway. All right, but there's other things that I can think of to say about myself that would be positive instead of saying I'm fat. And I think as women we have trouble accepting compliments a lot of times. I know I have had people, and you probably have had someone to come up to you and say, "Oh, I just love your dress, how pretty." And what do you say? You say, "Oh, this old thing, I pull this out of my closet, been in there 10 years, this is old." Why couldn't we just say thank you? Or they say, "Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful blouse you have on." And you say, "Oh, this old thing, I got it down at a yard sale, or I got it down there on the clearance aisle." Again, why couldn't you just say thank you and smile? Thank you. Now, if you want to tell somebody about a good deal you've gotten, that's okay, but do it after you say thank you. And you say, "Well, thank you." And then, you might say, "Woo, I love getting a good bargain, snagging a good bargain, and I got this on the clearance aisle the other day for $2.99. I'm so excited." That's fine if you want to tell them you got a good deal. You don't have to. But first of all, just say thank you. Let's learn to accept compliments. This might be a little TMI. But not long after Ronnie and I married, I remember he told me one day that I had pretty legs, and it just embarrassed me to death. And I blushed, and it got off with me, and he knew it did, and I think he got a kick out of it, so every so often he would tell me that. And it's to this day, I'll be honest, it just will embarrass me, even for my own husband to tell me. I don't know why. It's hard to accept compliments sometimes. But I'm about to start giving myself a compliment, and I'm going to think positive every morning. A few years ago, a friend of mine was talking at a ladies' meeting, and she was talking about the spoken word and how powerful it was. And I had not thought, a few years ago, I started hearing people talk about the spoken word and how powerful, and I'm like, I don't know, because, but the words that come out of my mouth do matter. In fact, let me see if I can look right here. It says, Proverbs 18:21 even says that death and life are in the power of the tongue. We can do a lot of harm with our tongue, and we can do a lot of good. So our spoken words do matter. Now, I will tell you that probably just as importantly, if not more so, is our thoughts. Because even if I refrain from calling myself fat, and for anybody to hear me, but in my mind I'm going around during the day or whenever, and I'm thinking, "Oh, you're so fat, you're so fat," or any other negative. Even them thoughts, sure, they may run through your mind, but you need to let it go right on through and be fleeting, and then start thinking something good. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm going to encourage you to do it, is think of at least one or two things positive that's about yourself. And for example, I'm going to put them on my mural in my bathroom, but I'm about to show them to you, and I'm going to use the mural in the room I'm in, but I'm actually going to put them on my mural. So that first thing every morning, instead of looking in the mirror and thinking, "Ugh, how awful," or "Oh, you're so fat," or we're getting on the scales and weighing, instead of doing that, the first thing I'm going to tell myself that's positive every morning is that, and you won't be able to read it till I show it to you because it's turned backwards to you, but it says, "I am blessed." And you can get cards and fancy, but I just ran off a sheet, free printable online, of some cards. And I did this on my phone because I can print from my phone, so I didn't pull out a computer. If I had, I would have put the words with the computer. And I'm messing with my hair because it won't stay out of my eyes. Sorry about that. But I just wrote it with a marker. And it says, "I am blessed." And so, if I'm looking at the first thing I'm looking at every morning is "I am blessed," and you know what? Even more so, I might decide to take off singing it. Like, "I am blessed. I am blessed every day that I live. I am blessed when I wake up in the morning, when I lay my head to rest. I am blessed. I am blessed." And I've got to do that again. "I am blessed. I am blessed every day that I live. I am blessed when I wake up in the morning, when I lay my head to rest. I am blessed. I am blessed." That's a good way to start a day. And I believe you'll feel a lot better than looking in the mirror and telling yourself you're fat. But you know what else I've got up there? I had to think of something. What's something positive I can say about myself? And I'm telling myself that I have beautiful blue eyes. And you may or may not agree, but when I was growing up, And even after I was grown, from time to time, I would hear somebody, and I had never thought anything about it. They said, "Oh, you have such beautiful blue eyes." And I guess I told them thank you. I hope I didn't say, "Oh, these blue eyes." You get my drill. My point is, that's something positive I can say, and I'm sure you can find something positive about yourself. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. Now, also, I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually turn them around to this mirror, but I'm going to put these on my mirror in my bathroom so that, and by the way, first thing every morning, you know, that's where most of us head, is to the bathroom. And I don't call mine the John, going to the John, though. I call mine the gym. It sounds a lot better to me to say, "Ooh, every day I get up and go to the gym first thing." That sounds a lot better, you know, like I'm working out at the gym. All right, but I'm going to turn this around right quick and put these on my mirror. So let me see if I can do that. All right, so I'm going to put the I'm blessed right up here at the top. Now, this is not where this is staying because it's going to go to my bathroom mirror, but I figured instead of taking you in there, I'm going to show you right here what's going to be on my mirror. First thing every morning, woo, I'm going to stick them better on my mirror, but I just wanted them hanging here for you to see them, long enough for you to see them. I put some Scotch tape, but I figured out how I'm going to do them in there. So it says, "I'm blessed," and I may just take off singing it, and I have beautiful blue eyes, and I'm going to look at that every morning instead of looking in the mirror and telling myself I'm fat. So I hope you have a blessed day, and from this day forward, hey, I don't want to meet up with you and you start telling me how fat you are. As a matter of fact, let me turn this back around right quick if I can do that. All right. As a matter of fact, one other thing I would like to say is that I have heard people, especially young ladies, that they don't need to lose probably over 5 or 10, 20, 15 pounds. And they'll go around talking about, "Ooh, I'm so fat and I've got to lose weight and I'm fat." And there may be somebody there that needs to lose 50, 75, or 100. How do you think that makes them feel when you're going around at that weight and doing that? So I think we need to be careful of our spoken word. I think we need to even talk to ourselves a lot more positive and stop calling ourselves names. If we're not calling, hopefully you're not calling other people names. So if you're not, stop calling yourself fat. And until next time, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.